Greetings to the YaLa Young Leaders Peace Movement and congratulations on reaching 1 million young members from the Middle East and North Africa. At a time of turmoil and polarization, it is very encouraging to see so many young people show their commitment to building peaceful societies. No other region is undergoing such dramatic upheavals or witnessing such horrendous violent extremism. Far too many people across the Arab world do not feel included in the economic and governance structures of their country. This crisis of exclusion helped to produce the Arab Spring, but the hopes of change that were aroused remain largely unmet. Meanwhile, time is running out for Israelis and Palestinians to reach a two-state solution. Continued settlement activity and continued hatred and despair have kept the parties polarized despite an urgent need for compromise. The dire humanitarian situation in Gaza is a further cause for grave concern. 1 million young people with 1 million solutions can transform the region and the future. Thank you for being voices of moderation and for standing up for freedom, tolerance, justice, and peace. The United Nations will continue to stand with you.
Hello, President Perez. First of all, thank you so much for making time to meet us. So very soon, YaLa will reach 1 million likes on the page, and so we really wanted to celebrate, and we wanted to celebrate with you. So we are very honored to meet you today.
So am I. I'm also very honored to see you. I think YaLa is a great movement, an important one.
Thank you so much.
Because finally, peace will be built by peoples more than by governments.
This is great to hear. So we will ask you a very few questions. So
please do.
Please.
So my name is Hamza Awaude. I live in Dura, closer to Hebron.
I know where Dura is. I've been there several times.
And my question is, if you were in my age today, what would you do to make a change, to have a positive impact in your society, in the region, and what would you do to make peace happen?
What I did, let other people tell. I can say simply, all my life, I worked for peace in the region, particularly for peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. I think it is a key to the peace in the whole region. And I believe that everything which is concerned with hostility, with hatred, with terror and war stems from the past. On the other hand, everything which is promising peaceful happiness belongs to the future. You are the future. And you should build peace, and peace will build your future as well. In my eyes, you are a builder of the future, and the future will answer positively to your request.
Thank you.
My name is Ofri. I'm from Israel. And one of the things that stops people from working towards peace and for peace and from reaching out to each other is fear. Fear of the other, fear of our communities and what they would say. And it's a common feeling in the region. In your life, have you experienced this kind of fear, and how did you overcome it, or how would you suggest to overcome it?
The world is full of fear. But a leader shouldn't be a coward. If he's submitting to fear, he's not a leader. It brings in desperation and catastrophes. So the first call is to be a believer and not to be afraid. And I learned that if you work for a better future, we will not have it in one moment or in 1 year. But people say it's very hard to make peace between the Palestinians or between the Arabs and Israel or the Jews. Maybe, but the fact is that 2 agreements of peace were achieved. one with the largest Arab country, Egypt, one with the other with a very near neighbor, Jordan, and then we started also peace with the Palestinian people. And I was one of the people who tried really to bring it to life, and I'm still trying to do whatever I can to make it a reality. It is because of it that I look at you, for you, to play an important role in completing these efforts for the sake of your generation, for the name of your parents, for the hope of the children that will be born in the future.
Thank you. My name is Sarah, and I have another question. So the Middle East and Northern Africa region is very young and very dynamic. And would you see the MENA region building a new cooperation model so we could play a role in the international scene, in front of the EU, in front of the US? What kind of model?
Whether the Middle East is young or old is debatable. I think it's a very old region. But it came to a new age. The new age is not the age of agriculture. We don't depend upon the land. We don't have to defend borders. Armies cannot conquer it or rule it, and governments cannot give orders. This age is the age of science. Science does not have borders. Science cannot be conquered by armies. Science cannot be stopped by governments. And science is available to everybody. The greatest change in our time and the greatest challenge for you is that today democracy is not just the right of every person to be equal, but the equal right of every person to be different. Today, equality and difference go together. No matter what is your religion, no matter what is your nation, no matter what you are doing, we live in an open world that runs ahead with full speed on the wings of knowledge and science. Now let me say something else. In the Middle East there are 400 million people. 60% of them are below the age of 25. I think this is the audience of hope. It depends upon you to lead the peace. You are no longer divided, and we are no longer divided in the same way that our parents or elders were divided. The new world of science and knowledge calls you to forget the partitions, to forget the prejudices, to embark with courage and hope and knowledge, and bring your age, the young one, to a new shore of hope and peace.
Thank you very much. We received also questions for our members from Morocco and Tunisia. So exactly what you were saying, Rahma is one of our members from Tunisia, and she would like to know that today, nowadays, a movement like YaLa can reach 1 million likes on the internet. So how important do you think technology is when promoting peace?
Technology is a vehicle. Today we are not walking. Today we are traveling or flying. And technology is simply either a car or a plane or a horse that you can advance on the ground or in the air, wherever you can. And I want to say that among the young people, say the Arab young people, below the age of 25, there are already 144 million who have smartphones. It's the first step into technology. And I think it's more important to introduce technology than get financial support. Israel feels that we belong to the same age, to the same desire for peace, and we shall be more than happy to share with you and other people whatever we did or achieved in the domain of technology and science.
Thank you. You want to ask
Sure.
Marwa?
Yeah. So our last question is from Marwa from Morocco, and her question is: every country in the region is facing racism, especially now.
Is what facing?
Racism.
Yes.
How is it possible to tackle this problem, this issue?
Racism is a sin. It's unaccepted. None of us have the right to discriminate anybody. According to the Muslim religion, according to the Jewish religion, every person was born in the image of Lord. Every person was born free and equal. There was no reason to kill each other. And I do believe that the members of YaLa is the double meaning, young leaders, and YaLa, do it fast. Do it fast, take leadership, and fight any sort of discrimination, any sort of hatred. Work together, go together, keep your flags, keep your religion, but work for peace. It's a call from the Lord, not just a reason from the human being.
Thank you. Thank you. So on that note, do you want to ask?
Yes, the last question is, what is your message for our members who might be the future leaders of this region?
You're today leaders. You never postponed it. Better lead today and learn tomorrow than learn and don't lead. You have to practice what you feel, what you know, and to learn more, but to act with great speed, with great devotion. And I'm very proud about you that you are close to be 1 million, be more. And I understand it's not just that you get in touch one with another, but you develop also a sort of a friendship, which will really guarantee a better future for this region that has a very long history and experienced so much bloodshed and catastrophes. Build a new Middle East in a new age of humankind.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it, and it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rick Stengel, Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs. On behalf of President Obama, Secretary Qurei, and the people of the United States, it's a pleasure to join the thousands of young leaders in this virtual space for the 4th YaLa online conference. First, congratulations on reaching the milestone of 1 million members from all over the Middle East and North Africa. For the past 4 years, YaLa has been a great partner with the State Department, and we've enjoyed watching this community grow into the powerful network that it is today. One of our most important priorities is working for a safe, secure, and prosperous Middle East. As President Obama has made clear, Israelis and Palestinians face a challenging path forward, but no matter how difficult it may be, our commitment and our focus remain unchanged. We strongly believe that a two-state solution is the best path forward for Israel's security, for Palestinian aspirations, and for regional stability. And we continue to look to the new Israeli government and to the Palestinians to demonstrate, through policies and through actions, a genuine commitment to a two-state solution. That is the way to build trust and a lasting peace. But most importantly, we look to you, the brightest young leaders in the region, to help chart that path forward. We look to you to continue engaging with one another, to keep expressing your opinions, and to shape a peaceful and sustainable future. And now that you've reached 1 million members, YaLa young leaders have an even bigger role to play. 1 million young leaders can make a difference in the struggle for equality, prosperity, and peace. 1 million young leaders can launch new efforts for mutual security and understanding. 1 million young leaders can help shape the Middle East and the world in the years to come. Congratulations on reaching this important milestone in just 4 short years, and thank you, all of you, for all that you're doing to chart the path to peace.
Hello, YaLa. It's amazing that you are 1 million members strong and growing. What I love is how everybody's using the internet to interconnect for peace building, for creating economic opportunity together. It's really a collaborative medium. As Chief Technology Officer, I'm often looking at extraordinary innovations in tech, whether it's in energy innovation or science or a breakthrough for clean water or a breakthrough for digital learning, all those areas. And I really encourage you to make sure, in addition to kind of your more classic humanities skills, that you're really sharpening and honing your tech skills so that you can bring all kinds of skills to the table together and collaborate. You know, get the scientists, get the engineers, get the medical folks together with the social scientists and the policymakers and teammates on those fronts, together with the folks I call TQ, kind of the digital flash mob of folks who make apps and do TEDx conferences, getting all of those folks together in the way you have them all in the YaLa team come together and work on some of the most extraordinarily important problems that we face as a society. And it's in that collaboration that I think a lot of peace building happens, because we're working towards amazing solutions that we can only find if we work together across all our borders in the way that you guys are so good at. So congratulations and on the 4th year, and look forward to seeing what you get up to.
Dear friends of YaLa Young Leaders, congratulations on reaching your first 1 million members. It's really a pleasure for me to address such a massive rally. With 1 million people gathering for peace, this is not an ordinary event. In these hard times, the peace camp needs your critical mass. It needs you, and it is not just about numbers. To bring about change, we need young leaders like you. You will hear this many times today, that you are the future. And this is what everybody is telling you. This is also what people told me many times when I was in youth movements. Let me say this is wrong. And today's gathering shows it very clearly. You are not the future, you are the present. You are taking responsibility for the world we live in, and you're doing it now, today. You're doing this for yourself, for your friends, and for all of us. Transforming this world would be completely impossible without you and your commitment. I say this is about the present and not the future, because peace can't wait. The Middle East cannot afford the status quo. In fact, there is no status quo. If things do not change for the better, they will change for the worse. And we've seen this many times. With no agreements between the Israelis and the Palestinians, violence will rise again, and those opposing a two-state solution will grow stronger. And at the end, it will be impossible to get there if we continue this way. But this initiative shows that there is room for optimism, for working on this. The fact that you come from so many different countries sends a very powerful message. You are already building dialogue at civil society level, and not only between two civil societies, but all across the region. For this is an issue that goes beyond the Israeli and Palestinian societies. A new international and regional framework is necessary to facilitate the restart of negotiations, and you are contributing to that. Your voice 1 million young people speaking as one cannot be unheard by regional leaders. European Union stands on your side, the side of peace. And I am personally on your side, the side of peace. My first visit as High Representative for the European Union Foreign Policy was to Jerusalem, to Tel Aviv, to Ramallah and Gaza. My dream, but not only my dream, my concrete goal is to see a secure state of Israel and a viable state of Palestine living side by side, together and in peace. And to see it within the time of my mandate, in 5 years' time. Many people say I'm dreaming. You hold the answer to this question. But it is good to know that I am one of you. I am one of 1 million and much more. So please count me in. Thank you very much for your work, for your strength, and for your leadership.
Is being changed. Now the world is different than even 5 years ago, and 5 years ago more different than it was 10 years ago. Therefore, we want really, who are living here in this region, we want the young generation in the future to live in peace, prosperity, and to concentrate their life for the happiness and for the good being of the new generation to live in peace. This, I think, it's a responsibility first of the young generation to support the cause of peace, so as to open the road for a real cooperation between the young generation in both sides and in the region also, as you are doing. And what you are doing, contacting the young generations from different countries in the region, I'm sure that it will have an influence, and it's a very good, really, initiative. It's great. I highly support it.
Today I want to talk to you about the individual voice of peace. It seems like a small thing to think of yourself as being incredibly powerful. You who might be alone in your room, you and your cell phone or your iPad. But I was always so inspired by this statement by Margaret Mead that said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." And it inspired me to think about what is the individual voice of peace. What does it mean when one person decides that they can affect the change of history? Well, I think that it means that we don't have to look at the past issues and problems, even within our own family or community or country, as our motivation to move forward. We can think pragmatically, and we can think in terms of coexistence for moving forward. We can think of a modern reality that isn't based on revenge or resolution of issues that might just fall and fade away if we moved from this point forward. It's like if you're traveling in a car and you have too much baggage and the car can't get up the hill. Sometimes you just have to throw out the bags and really keep only what's necessary so that you can actually get to your destination. And if we think of our destination as happiness, as education, as coexistence, then we have to think about what do these things really mean? What is happiness? To me, it's the difference between pleasure and happiness. That pleasure is the thing we get right now, but happiness is the thing that lasts forever. Coexistence is working with people who go beyond the imaginary borders of home to home, town to town, country to country, or business to business, because now we're a global reality. We we really work and function as a globe. And we have to ask ourselves, do we have the desire to be compatible on a global reality? And that's very exciting. It's very exciting. I know when I was a kid and I was in the 5th grade, I failed geography because I thought, oh, I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm going to be just stuck right where I am, and I'll never see anywhere. And now I wish I'd studied harder because I'm seeing the world and I'm talking to you. And it makes me want to know more about where you live, just like you want to know more about where I live. So I'm going to show you where I am today. I'm going to show you that I'm at a photo shoot in a photo studio. And today we're shooting pictures for a fashion magazine. And that's what the world is today. The world is full of technology. You can talk to me here, or you can talk to me like this, and you can see that my world can expand, and I can show you more about what my life is. And you can do that with anyone that you talk to. We don't have to be afraid anymore that the world is different place to place or person to person, because we can see everyone's world. And we don't have to be angry about things that others decide for us, because we can choose. We can choose to have a common reality across borders and right next door, simply by showing people what is the world around us and what is that like, and who are the people that are here with us. And we can decide that we want to be happy. We want to use our science and our technology to create a more successful economic reality for ourselves. We want to create a future for our children that is different than the future that we have, based on the fact that we want to create a future that exists in joy and peace and harmony. These seem like they could be idealistic words, except we have seen nations who make these changes. I invite you to be a change maker in your community, and for it to start in your life today, in your home, with your friends who are right here and crossing the border, showing you bigger spaces and bringing them right into your home and right up close to you, who can look right up at you and tell you, I care about you. Because you can know that you can be friends with anyone, anywhere, and you can learn about anyone, anywhere, because the world is yours, and it's up to you to make it how you want it to be. Because you are a change maker, and you get to make the world the way you want it to be. Make it a good one.
Dear friends, I am glad to have this opportunity to send a short message to you, to 1 million young people that can make a difference and reach peace. I just came back from the region, and unfortunately, I cannot say I'm very optimistic. But I think the international community does not have the right to turn a sort of blind eye on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Why? Because what is at stake is justice for the Palestinians, security for Israel, and stability and prosperity for all of us. France, as you know, is very keen about peace and security, and we are pleading for some evolution in method. What does it mean? It means that the two sides must go back to negotiations without preconditions. It means that an international mobilization must help move the lines of the conflict. We think that the international community has to share the price of peace with the parties. It means that we have to coin a sort of quartet plus with the Arab countries, and that one day or the other, the Security Council will have to deal with that. You are part of this evolution in method. You are part of the necessary mobilization, for we need you to build peace for the future.
I wish you the best for your conference. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you for reaching this milestone. 1 million young people demanding peaceful change and a better future. The last year has not been a peaceful one for the Middle East and North Africa. Conflicts have raged across the region. Syria, Iraq, Gaza, Yemen, Libya. I have met with survivors of war, terror, and extremism. Listened to their stories, seen their suffering. It is not always easy to believe that peace can be achieved. I watched with grief as people who speak out against injustices are silenced by threats, violence, imprisonment, and torture. You can silence one person, but you cannot silence 1 million. When 1 million courageous young people from Casablanca to Baghdad, from Tel Aviv to Sana'a, speak out for peace, equality, and a better future, the world must listen. It reminds us that peace is not only necessary, but that it is actually possible. You hear the claims that there is no partner for peace, no one to talk to. But you know that there are 1 million partners, and you are already reaching out to them. YaLa is a platform to organize, to form alliances across borders and cultures, to discuss, learn, and exchange ideas. It has grown into what it is today in a very short time. Where will YaLa be 1 year from now? 10 years from now? That will be up to you to decide. I wish you the best for that journey. It will affect all of us. It is time to bring about change. YaLa.
So, dear friends, I join you today from Sweden to celebrate the fact that the YaLa Young Leaders Peace Movement has reached 1 million young people in the Middle East. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Sweden, I'm proud and honored to be able to convey to you my admiration for this achievement and to stress also how important your work is. The fact that you are bringing young people together in the common cause of peace and dialogue for a better future, using the opportunities of new technologies, gives hope not only to your people in the region, but also to us in the international community and in faraway countries like my own, Sweden. This is particularly important because the future of the Middle East lies in your hands. And we have to work together on many fronts to achieve positive change and also to combat radicalization. It will not be easy, but we mustn't give up. You, the young people of the Middle East, deserve hope and a better future, a future of peace and opportunities for yourselves and your families. So, I wish you in the YaLa leaders all the best for your endeavors ahead, because there is no doubt in my mind that you are the real drivers for change, and together you can achieve great things. Thank you and all the best.
Hello, YaLa young leaders. Mazal Tov, Mabruk. To the young men and women of YaLa, and to all young people in the region who strive for a more peaceful and prosperous Middle East, and who reach out to cooperate and exchange ideas with people of other cultures, I applaud you. When President Obama spoke in Jerusalem 2 years ago, he said, quote, that young people can work together to make progress in 3 areas that will define our times: security, peace, and prosperity, end quote. Thank you to YaLa for working to help young people in the region work together to achieve these goals. Interaction, dialogue, and cooperation among people from different societies, cultures, and backgrounds can help break down stereotypes, dismantle barriers to peace, and spread prosperity and economic growth throughout the Middle East. With all the challenges we see throughout the region, efforts to understand each other and build bridges across countries, cultures, and religious and political divides are absolutely vital. You all carry so much potential for positive change. You hold the future in your hands. Just as President Obama urged in Jerusalem in 2013, I encourage you to continue to work towards a better future. And may your hopes and desires for that future spur you, in the words of the President, quote, to create the change that you want to see. Yallah.